Thank you for that broadcast share. Okay, so tonight is an exciting night, everybody. We have a fantastic guest from Boundless Studios, the creator of Boundless Studios, for the upcoming, today actually, the launch title, Shield Shock. It is the second title that you have published and developed, correct? Okay, so this is Reece with Boundless Studios. I don't want to mess up your last name, so I was like, is it Jeffrey Geofroy? Oh, gee, so I messed it up either way. Geoffroy. Can I do it in that way? Can I go the Geoffroy? Okay, now it's coming off borderline offensive. So now I also want to say that we have with us, we have Angles. Say what up. That's caffeine.tv/AnglesXD. And we have Dakumauler. /Dakumauler. And I've been excited for this title since I've had early access. I'm really blue. Let me take this screen grab off here. So for about 2 weeks or so through early access, I got to play around with it, and I didn't really understand the fact that I could block up until today. And it's something that it's really easy. I was doing just using my keyboard. So I moved over and I plugged in a controller just to because as I looked at the controls, I'm like, all right, I'll give this a shot with the controller, and it seemed to have helped a bit. And yeah, so before we jump into game, let's take a look at this. Hey, Emerald Storm, thank you so much for showing up. If you head on over to caffeine.tv/AUN, you'll see how people can just kind of interact with what's going on here. It's I guess let me share this myself really quick here on the Twitter. Radio operator, what's going on, buddy? Emerald Storm, Charistia, how you doing? We even got Taz. Oh, beautiful. Excellent amount of viewers so far. Thank you guys for showing up. Okay, so let's before we jump into game, let's do a quick breakdown. Would you like to share a question that I personally have been prepped and ready to ask you? What was your main inspiration for this specific title when you thought, like, hey, I'm going to develop the second game for Boundless? And what was your initial thought and sort of inner pitch idea? Okay. That's beautiful, mate. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, yeah. See, I figured as soon like I thought it was because once I learned that I could use a shield, I was shocked. So, see, man, thank you. No, although I guess it does shock the enemy, they bounce back, so it kind of gives them a little stun there. So how long prior to Shield Shock did you release? It was a roguelike, I believe, correct? Or oh, 4 player. Shocking. Ooh. I just wanted to. We had a viewer just say shocking to that, and oh hey Rogden, what's up? Understand indie devs, thumbs up. Thank you very much for that thumbs up. So on caffeine here, these animations are donations. So as you interact with them, you'll see like the thumb up kind of starts low, then goes up. The bomb explodes, and it's a way that like a way to kind of show as you donate to a streamer interaction here. So okay, so is right now, do you have, are you the sole member of Boundless, or do you have a team going? That's what I thought by looking at your YouTube. Fascinating. Rockdan. Our okay, our user Rogden, our viewer, he's a check mark, so he's part of an excellent show here called the Dungeon Run, and he has a question about where you are based. Oh, Canada. Okay. A. Um. All. All I can think of is kids in the hall. Now I can just praise you because you guys had kids in the hall. Um. So if we're gonna do, so just for the audience to know, there's two game modes. There's a wave based, choose a level, and oh, Roggen says it's a beautiful area, by the way. So the basically, you choose a level and you try to get to the highest wave number you can. You can unlock other characters to use as well by how far you get in a certain stage. Correct me if I misstated that. All right, and there's a mode that for me is kind of like a Smash Brothers mode, and then there's the kind of wave-based mode, which for me is the way that I can not suck at it and learn and have some fun as I do it. So that's what we're gonna start up with here. And with that said, walk me through getting you into my game. You're already here. You are two characters. Here I am. Well, we I think as the developer of a game, if you can't play as two people, I would be highly disappointed. I got to see those macro skills. Okay. Please do. There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, this should just be the basic wave. Yep. First selection. I'm gonna be playing as a dragon. So I okay. So as people can see, I have the highest waves completed on gusty plains is only 5, which is a bit sad. But I think we might be able to best that number with the with the aid of the creator. And if we can't, then we are well. All right, that's all that matters to me is taking out the previous best. So let's do it. Yes, we are. Let's go. So we have the sound effects off just so it doesn't. I'm gonna add mine back in a second. So. Okay, so one thing I just kind of want to show everybody. So with the right trigger, this is my fire and my block. So if I tap this when something's near, it's gonna have a defensive measure against them. The left bumper, or right button, left button is going to be your ability at that moment. Oh yeah, can you do that jump for me there? The shooting, yeah. So that's what I was having difficulty doing earlier. Is the shooting down jump. Let me see if I can get that down really quick. Okay, I can't change right now. It's kind of like a rocket jump in Quake. Hey, Pig Stand, welcome. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of rocket jumping. So one thing I noticed is that we don't have game audio, so I got to turn that up a little bit on the cast on Steam, just so people can hear the music and whatnot. There we go. The soundtrack is appropriate. It reminds me of something similar to Mario. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Am I so?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Oh, it's going really well, Pig Stand. If you have any questions for, for anybody here or the developer, please ask as you see the game. The gameplay, I should say.
Oh, never mind.
It's just the way that I'm maneuvering. Oh, sorry. It's the way that I'm maneuvering the. I'm currently using a capture of my OBS to stream. So whenever it goes back to the preview, I think there's a hotkey error there, so my bad on that.
We still don't hear the audio of the game, but yeah.
Oh, I'm getting it in my headphones. It's showing up on the OBS. It's showing up on the OBS desktop audio.
Never mind, you're good.
Okay, thank you for the tip though.
It was a delay. Sorry.
Are we ready?
I believe you are.
Also, I believe it's in the tips. I just want everyone to know that there's going to be an actual tutorial for the game. Currently, there isn't. There's a little controls menu, so you can learn all the controls, but there will be an actual interactive tutorial before full launch. But
Okay.
something to note is basically how you get your special ability is just by blocking. So if you block a projectile, obviously not like each other's because we're allies, but if you block an enemy projectile, you will be able to get your special ability, which is obviously different for every character. But as well, you can pick up these little items here, and you can use that with the bumper as well. But yeah, so anytime that you block an attack, you can use your special ability.
Ooh, I just launched that
wanted
bomb.
as many mechanics revolving around the block as possible, so I thought that, you know, the only real attacking thing that you can do is kind of prohibited by blocking. So don't think we can buy any upgrades, so we'll just get into it. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions for me, just feel free to ask. I've been working on the game it's been 6 months of development, but I took 2 months off because of school. I was in school for a little while, but I did not really enjoy my program too much, so I decided to kind of go a little bit more full-time indie dev and probably go into game dev school next year.
What school, may I ask? Or what program are you in?
I'll be going more than likely to Sheridan, which is in Ontario as well. So a very good art school.
Definitely.
There's a lot of good schools in Canada.
Oh yes, there is.
So my little dragon is gonna pick up this extra gold coin Slayer ability.
I'm loving the very retro Nintendo vibe I get from this. Like,
Yeah.
the audio
Thank you.
is very Nintendo
Elements
Yeah.
taken from other other games that I've seen. I like it. Like the flow. I'm trying to remember the game that I played recently that was a platformer.
I see it this way. If it comes to side-scrolling combat like this, it has to be somewhat hard. That's how
Yeah.
games were back on Nintendo and Super Nintendo
Yes.
and PlayStation. If it wasn't hard, it wasn't a good game.
Yeah. Enter
Sorry.
the Gungeon. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
definitely played a fair share of Enter the Gungeon. That's a good game.
Yeah.
So I'm player 3. That's why I'm failing so hard.
Now, how many players can you play with? Up to 4?
4.
Four.
But I'm trying to see if I can get the game on consoles. So if the game does go on Switch eventually, one of my guys,
Nice.
then I would like to try to actually get it up to 8 players. But you know, that's something that's
What do you
just
think
a
that would do for the
possibility.
game?
Sorry.
So, like, what do you think that would add to the game, having 8 players in the same loading level?
I think it would just be a little bit more fun, you know, to play with more friends and.
Would you
know.
scale the enemies accordingly, or?
Yeah, they actually do
Alright.
currently. Depending on how many people are in the game, the difficulty actually scales. So that way, it's not unfair if you're only playing with yourself.
Welcome,
or,
okay, so if I
Sorry.
so then in versus mode that would become really chaotic in a good way, huh?
pretty much. I mean, we beat Wave 5, so that's good.
Yeah.
Hey Chris, welcome to the stream, man.
Oof.
It's very difficult.
I
Sorry?
think this would do quite well on Switch, actually.
I agree. I think that, you know, it does kind of have a
We're on
little
wave 8.
Nintendo
Welcome, my friends.
vibe.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'll try my best, but
Well, yeah, no, I understand. What I meant in the sense of that is Nintendo has become known as the indie-friendly company to go to. They
yeah, definitely.
actually value indie
So
developers
as you guys saw, the way I bounced using the shield attack there.
Agree completely. Oh, I just died. Well, good luck, man.
distract you. Oops.
Have you ever modded a game before?
No worries. Alright, you got this.
Yeah, he can
Oh,
I spoke too
Daku
soon.
jinxed it.
Well, I mean, yeah, we beat wave 5, so
We definitely did. Now, are we able to do like a 1v1 versus to show?
sure.
All right, excellent.
I'll make keyboard so it doesn't register as 2 controllers. I need to fix that. That's not the game issue. That's just a my controller.
Oh
game
yeah,
issue.
well yeah, like I imagine. So having a controller and the keyboard plugged in and read at the same time. Now for couch co-op, you'd want that to change over to be able to play with like a friend or a spouse, etc. Correct.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
not
just,
it's not a game issue. It's just
No, it's not a game issue. It's just I downloaded an external like controller emulator. I wanted to connect my Switch controllers to my computer, and after I did that, now my PS4 controllers are registering as 2 controllers. So it's definitely not a game issue. It's just something I need to fix on my computer.
okay.
But,
So for people that are curious, I feel this is very Smash Brosy. Can you give your take on what inspired this game mode versus like the wave base?
yeah, I mean, so this is versus mode. So this is kind of just, where you're playing with your friends, fighting against each other. I wanted a versus mode and a cooperative mode. So we just played arcade mode, which is obviously something we're doing together. This is kind of fighting against each other. So it does definitely have a little bit of like Smash Brothers or Brawlhalla vibe. A lot of people say that it's similar to those games. We could try just a stock mode. So class mode is actually probably going to be reworked a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of just have it there so that people know that there's going to be other modes. But stock mode, at least for now, is kind of the main one.
So would you say it's kind of
But-
like Brawlhalla or Smash Brothers, but with an emphasis on blocking? Because that's where you're gonna end up dominating me then.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Alright.
definitely a lot more like projectile based and stuff like that. So like this map here, the drawbridge, this is probably the biggest map out there, but this is gonna be difficult.
I'm winning. I'm player 2, everybody.
Very interesting.
Can't-
Like the
can't
graphic
get the-
style. It sort of reminds me of Super Meat Boy in a way.
I think I was successfully pulling off those jumps. Emerald Storms it says, this reminds me of my childhood. Heck yeah, let's go. Go plus up for childhood, everybody.
I agree on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
It's a
man.
little
I
before my
appreciate it.
time, but yeah. I grew up on the
So-
360.
Kenneth, I just want to let you know, the game kind of went offline. I'm no longer in the game.
Oh no.
Is that how I won?
No,
Oh.
actually, you did really well.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So it was not due. Okay, I'll get you an invite back in here.
Square.
Win smacked him so hard he knocked him out of the game.
Honestly.
Sorry, man. You
What
got
happened?
you got blown away. It's just it happens. All right, remote play together.
I got a new one. Let me just turn down these settings.
Emerald Store, it's actually going live today, correct?
Very nice.
Yes, today is the launch date.
Yep, today is launch, so if anybody's watching the stream, you can get the game today. It's just $5 US. Keeping it very affordable so that, you know, people can just play it.
Hell yeah.
I'm not really trying to make the game for money. It's more just, you know, for people to actually get into it and stuff like that. But
Just
yeah,
Google
so
Shield
today is launch
Shock.
day. Big day.
You'll be able to find it, chat. Shield Shock on Google in the chat. You should find it on Steam if that link doesn't work for you, because it's kind of a weird copy.
Yeah, we have that Steam link. And then for anybody that wants to support Accelerated Evolution, we have an affiliate link
Okay.
that we'll toss out to people. The one from the tweet.
Okay, I'll grab that then. You said on your personal?
Correct. It's the I believe you retweeted it.
Yeah, I've retweeted everything that's came.
I'm
You
trying to
you got
find it.
tagged the Boundless. Yeah, I see it.
Did anything else?
Referral link.
Here we go.
Doc, if you could provide it, that'd be great.
I actually posted it in our Discord. One moment, I can get it.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go. Everyone.
There's the down jump.
Right there.
Thanks, Doc. Everybody's saying in the chat your mic's a bit low. How do I sound, everybody? This is Angles in the chat.
My apologies for the little mic. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
I'm good. Alright.
Dude, you're kicking my ass.
Yeah, I am dominating here.
What happened?
It's okay.
Did Wind ever forewarn you that he is like a 6-time NA champ type scenario?
I
He
surprised
did. I heard that he's very into Quake.
That's that's one of the titles of that I've had my spree in for sure. I know I mentioned Quake to you. I didn't think I mentioned the 6x thing, did I?
You don't have to. It's on your Twitter and every other place.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Yeah,
well,
I just found it from your Twitter and stuff like that.
but I normally don't rock a controller, so I'm using a controller right now, beating the developer. I think we need at least a rematch before we start breaking down some real questions here. What do you think? Yeah, you down?
Hey guys, I'll do my best.
Because you have to take me out in order for it's all for credibility here.
Wind, you got to fall on the sword. I mean, what?
All right. We'll do a double shifter.
A double
then.
shifter. That's a shift right there.
There we go. My screen is full screen now. All right. I'll definitely get you this time because
Something happened to mine. Hold on.
You can see more?
Yeah, I can see now. It's a little bit laggy still, but now I have the full sight of my monitors, so I'll be good now.
By the way, Emerald, remember, coders need to be able to beat their own game. They don't need to beat the people.
Exactly.
That's
Nice
how it's supposed to be. Oh, I love the design of this level. This is actually really nice.
Thank you.
Kind of makes me think of like a Kirby.
Ooh,
Dream
slammed!
thing.
Actually, surprisingly, I have never played a Kirby game. Actually, I have. Only one.
No, nothing wrong with that. I've only played one
Not
myself.
very bad, like I played like every other Nintendo like big title,
Ooh.
but I've never been big on Kirby. I feel like a fraud.
I bet there's a game that you haven't played. You ever heard of Quest 64?
I have. You know
Wasn't
what?
that an amazing game?
As a kid, that game is great, but I played it again recently, like a year or two ago, and
Ooh,
wasn't
eat
too
it.
big on it.
Well, it doesn't age well. It never did.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those. Definitely.
It was great for what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, man. You
Oh, yeah, that was brutal, man. That was a good one.
you could
E-
took 3 wins.
Emerald says I went from Atari to PC, never played the other consoles really. Okay, so just as a quick bio on myself, I started with the Intellivision, and then the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PC era. So I kind of got that. I kind of get what you're saying, Emerald. Um, you remember those? Yeah.
I played Atari 2600, then Nintendo, skipped Sega, went to Super Nintendo, 64, PlayStation 2, never had a PlayStation 1, and then PC.
Started off on a 360, and then
Angles is
built
the
my
young
first
one.
PC.
He's the young one.
I'm 20, but
Yeah, that's
he's
still
19, so.
you're still the young one.
I get you, man. I feel you.
Well, the
Hey, like I feel old because I got people younger than me. But yeah, I would say yeah, we are the youngins, I guess.
they are darn youngins. All right, so Emerald says when I was a kid, when I had kids was when consoles really entered my life. Okay, see, and it's a great you know, it's a great way to interact as a family, I believe, as well.
Yeah, it can be definitely, yeah.
Peggle, there you go. Yeah.
I know that game.
So let's get a trio roundtable of questions. As since Angles, you and Daku are watching there.
Yeah, what's up?
So,
Yep.
do you have anything in mind before I kind of, start my little one-on-one outro? Last half of the stream, kind of peg you down and make you answer type of interview. Do you want to throw some questions before I make them submit?
You go first, Angles.
I mean, in general, I was just asking, how long he intends to keep it in early access, which you can go ahead and bring back to light. If you want to share that again, when it's expected to be in a full release of the game. But you would love the support, obviously, and being in early access and having a success in early access. That whole community in Steam is fairly interesting. Like, it's called the Green Light. Have you heard the Green Light, like, sort of area of Steam, and like sort of like the indie community artwork and like just indie stuff in general? There's a lot of it there. You can build a community there. You won't have any issue, creating more and more of what you love to do, as it's obvious. So, I mean, I would stick with it for sure and see if you can generate some networking capabilities, sort of that internally, and work with some other creators. Yeah, I mean,
As for your question about early
a lot of
access,
big titles out. Yeah,
early access is probably only going to be a few months. I want to get the game out full release for around early February, late January, early February. I just want people to be able to play the game a little bit earlier so that I can get public feedback, get people into the game, get them hyped. And then when the game fully launches with more content, and a few more modes and stuff like that, then hopefully all the bugs and glitches will be gone. But yeah, so.
And
time.
while I'm sure as you being the dev and you can look at the code and you can really grind things down, like what's buggy, what isn't. I haven't, in regards to like just picking up and playing, ever since I had gotten my key, it's about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I haven't encountered anything that I would call game breaking, and that's always something good for an early access launch title. And,
Definitely.
I just wanted to let you know that I just gave a short review that I'm going to, on Steam, that I'm going to actually flesh out, and then also paste this link of the VOD for this. And I see 7 curators that I follow have also posted about
second
the game.
Storm.
What's the second game, Storm?
Yes.
This is the second game that he's created.
Yo, yes.
Mention your first name again.
Oh, I see it there. Oh,
Your first game again.
the first game.
Yeah.
The first game is Diminutive. It's a
Diminutive,
space, a kind of exploration game, I guess you could say.
Just looking at it, it reminded me of like, if you think like Astro Smash, that kind of outside, or not Astro, the one where you're in the ship that's turning around shooting at the asteroids. Was that Astro Smash?
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know the name.
Asteroids.
Asteroids. Thank you.
Jeez.
Astro Smash was more like Centipede, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay. That's my bad.
It's all good.
Emerald would like to know, how long have you been programming?
I have been doing game development and programming about the same amount of time, but it's been about 2 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. But as I mentioned, I think we talked about this a little bit before the stream went live, but for the people watching now, I guess I'll kind of fill them in on what's going on. But basically, I just kind of decided during high school that I wanted to start making games. So I sat at my computer and watched YouTube videos and started learning how to code. That's pretty much all there is to it. And then from there, I just, have been doing a lot of research and what makes a good indie game and what doesn't. So just a lot of trial and error. Still new to it.
Well, let me state, as the owner of an esports organization, this is the kind of game that I would have a lot of fun playing with, other, could be a team member of any type of team or game, because it's easy enough to understand, but there's enough replayability due to, just timing, tactics of when you shield, when you, you saw I started to figure out the shoot down jump thing, stuff like that. And then just the wave base is going to keep people coming back to try to get past the, that wave. But then the verses, you can have the kind of party weeks, like singular, like Party Friday with content creators that are like, inside AE or different team members that can all get around something like this and have fun. I can imagine if you wanted, like, there even being community tournaments in versus mode, because it's
I agree.
It's not having too many classes is a good thing. I think a lot of developers think a little bit too much into, okay, we need to have 80 different characters with different abilities. This is far easier to pick up and get a hang of. And Emerald says this does look like a pretty good community game. Definitely, like, and it being in early access and a indie price title, very more than indie price title, like budget title, with that being said in the best way possible at $4.99. It's something that like people use Jackbox Party for to hang out with their viewers and stuff. This feels like, feel free to share the links in our I certainly will, and we're gonna do our best to help promote this game because we're having so much darn fun with it. Chris says this could be the next Towerfall. Dakumauler, community games build lasting bonds. Yes, they do.
That game definitely, when I was kind of in the more fleshed out, kind of nearing the finished state of the game of where I wanted to actually take it and stuff like that, that game definitely drew a little bit of an inspiration in terms of like where I think that this game can kind of go.
Thank you guys.
So right now it's very small and I want to keep it that way, but as early access goes and as launch goes, I would like to kind of polish it up and stuff like that. But that game is definitely something that I've seen as a very, very similar game. So I think that's definitely a good comment to add. Is Towerfall is very similar. So I think rather than relating it to something like Smash, I think something like Towerfall is probably the closest you're going to get.
Okay, I'll have to reword that then. I'll put Towerfall. I guess I was going for the broadest I can think of, then we have another question for you from Emerald is, what is your ultimate dream? To be hired by a big developer, or to continue on your own path with Boundless, and I guess forge ahead as your own publisher developer and keep that freedom, maybe larger team size eventually, or just on your own. You let us know.
Yeah. So great question. I think that my ultimate goal is to, again, continue making games. I really want to do this for the long term. I'm only now getting started. That's why I'm in no rush to be making money and all these things, because right now I'm just trying to increase my skill and make games and just keep getting better at it. But I do want to stay as an indie. My goal is to kind of keep my own company, even if I expand it to maybe 5 or 6 members, let's say. But I do want to keep it indie and just continue to make games. I'd like to make an esports type game where I just work on one game consistently, and maybe do little side things every so often. But yeah, I would definitely say staying indie is kind of more down my alley.
There always could be indie esports. So then we have another question here. Have you thought about joining forces with another small indie dev? Let me give a +1 up on that. Thank you very much for that question.
Yeah, another great question. I actually might be doing something
So
similar to this. So as I talked about earlier, I have a small YouTube channel that I've been doing for the past under a year or so.
That's why I want to turn a caffeine
But
show.
a few of the guys over there are actually into game development as well. So I actually might be working on a small project with a few subscribers and stuff like that, and
Nice.
kind of working on a game together. Just something to, for me to give back to the community, because they've been so supportive through this whole Shield Shock development and all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in working with other indies, but I would probably say for the majority of my career, probably sticking to my own titles.
Okay. So now I got to check out your show, which is basically like how to what it's like to be an indie developer, tackling problems, making a game. Like episode by episode on YouTube. And so that fascinated me, just that concept. I believe you were working on this while making those videos, right? So I like, to me personally, I can imagine that being an excellent sort of streaming show, with instant, with basically the ability of having people instantly just be able to comment and ask you questions as you're, going through that process, along with then editing and kind of creating those episodic videos that you did. I really, really love the concept, and I want to talk about that further with you off of stream about so like as Emerald just said, that would be rather unique here, and I agree. Something like that would, because if you think of all the game developers that are either in school, aspiring to develop, and they want to break out, and just really quickly say thank you so much for showing up, Emerald. I'll swing by and see how you guys are doing during your cast. Thank you so much for swinging by and asking those excellent questions. We appreciate it. So
Thank you, guys.
yeah, thank you, Emerald. Basically, I think of kids in their teens now. I mean, there's so many of them that only know Fortnite, but aside from that, they want to grow up, and they want to work in development. And right now, with either Unity and Unreal, there's a lot of easier methods of entering basic game design along with modding. And having gone to, I went to Full Sail University in Florida, which had a large game development program. Used to be run by the creator of Dungeons and Dragons until he passed away. And I remember all those students, how they were super grind. During a inside power outage, they went outside and coded on their cars, with their laptops. and just that sort of grind. I think that's one of the major inspirations of seeing an indie game and an indie developer just put something out that's solid. That it makes me think of those people in the future generations of people that are like that. So, like, do you think you'd be open to doing like a show where people can come in and ask you questions as you're working on it, maybe making updates, showing code, that sort of thing?
I mean, definitely. Currently, right now, I'm just streaming over on YouTube. But maybe if this is a little bit more of a niche thing, and people over on caffeine are really interested, um, I would definitely be excited to try something different. But right now, I just kind of stream usually every Sunday that I can. It's been a very busy month, so
Oh, I'd imagine.
things get a little bit hectic, but I try to stream whenever I can, and I just kind of stream my game development process and have people kind of talk and ask questions or just work alongside me and stuff like that. So it's definitely something I'm interested in. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Okay, so let's. As I'm just gazing upon the store page on the Steam store page, just to clarify for everybody, were these generated or were these images ones that you selected? Because I know from hearing from other developers that sometimes they just take images and put them up. So, what was your like angle in, basically? Because I mean, you got some excellent, like player 2, player 1 with the random. You have the I'm forgetting the level name. Is it one of the lava ones or is it?
Yeah, the magma chambers. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. And then we have that very pretty, the foresty one that I think I played the most of. I can't.
Yeah, Wizard's Forest.
Wizard's Forest. See, you're nailing it, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
You're nailing your own content. Then the then the shop system. So you see 4 different shops there. So I guess like with those images, what do you think is being conveyed to the viewer?
Yeah, so I did, for what you were saying earlier, I did take all of these screenshots myself. They might not exactly be like perfect, pristine, cinematic screenshots, but I just tried to basically let the viewer or the players kind of see everything that's available in the game, so they can see that there's a variety of different types of maps, game modes with like seeing the shops and the different little UI things there. Some arcade screenshots, but also some versus mode screenshots. So, yeah, just trying to show variety, I guess, is just showing them what the game really offers through those screenshots.
You do a good job of that, and I'm gonna pop the trailer up on stream, everybody. Here we go. Very Nine Inch Nails sounding soundtrack.
By the way, what's this hard capped at? Is it hard capped at 30 or 60 FPS?
I believe it's 30, but I think most of the clips are in 60. But I think it's just put down to 30.
Which in a game like this
is perfect.
Shouldn't matter. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Frame wise, in other words.
Well, some people like to know that kind of information.
Oh no, definitely. No, I understand. And as the trailer says, available December 9th, today. Let me take the display cap back off. There we go. So, that's for me, that's a damn good trailer, man. So
thank you.
So you edited that yourself?
Yep, everything myself.
One man army.
One man
Exactly.
army. That was yeah. Because you see some like indie games or just new games in general, and they pop up on Steam. The videos, it's either like a partial like gameplay thing, and you're kind of sitting through like, all right, are we there yet? You show off a lot in such a small amount of time that I think you use pretty darn wisely. Um, Now post launch, are you gonna kind of have like an accolade trailer where you kind of have opinions of some outlets and some social media figures and stuff like that?
Definitely. I'll definitely be doing another trailer, hopefully a better trailer for full launch. So that'll happen. But I'm
Good to try.
actually gonna be releasing Christmas content for the game. It's a little weird because the game just came out, so um, people might be kind of a little bit confused. But I felt like starting the holidays with a nice little Shield Shock Christmas content. So that'll be coming out shortly, which will have its own small little trailer for it. So
Oh, beautiful.
you'll see more Shield Shock soon.
Can we expect snow?
A little bit, yes.
Excellent. Okay, so it
I
will be
expect
snow.
candy canes.
There are definitely candy canes.
Oh,
Oh,
really? Okay, that was a joke.
that was a good guess, Daku. Um, Snowman.
Yeah, good job, good job.
There's got to be a snowman, I hope, but we'll see. If there's not, I won't. You know, there's no negative points for not having a snowman. Um, oh, man. So okay, so my kind of here's my hardline questioning. The first question's a bit off topic, but did you watch the Ghostbusters trailer?
Right?
Ghostbusters Afterlife today?
The trailer just came out for the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, no, I did not see that. I am very
That
out
took
of date with movies.
that took about 5 minutes out of my bit. Thank you. Oh God, I was waiting for you to say you saw it, and then I was gonna, you know, derail to that, and
I'm
then get
so
back to the
sorry.
game. Okay, well,
It was an okay trailer.
oh, I loved it. I loved it, especially when Bill
I didn't
Murray's
even know the
voice
new one
came
was
on.
coming out, to be quite fair.
Well,
Uh,
they kind of snuck it in there temporarily and just like, oh, by the way, we're gonna make a new one, and they showed off the Ecto one, and automatically everyone lost their
well,
collective stuff.
yeah, that was the teaser trailer from Friday. The official trailer that came out today
Okay.
showed every, you know, it just basically showed everything aside from Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver. I'm forgetting the actor who played Winston. But the story revolves around, you know, since Harold Ramis died, his character of Egon being his grandkids having moved. I believe it takes place in Kansas. The
Yeah, they
mother,
moved to
they're
the property
evicted,
because they lost
and
everything.
all he has is like dilapidated, you know, it's like a dilapidated, creepy looking mansion in the middle of nowhere. And
Mm.
this teacher, played by Paul Rudd, is questioning why there's seismic events despite there being no fracking, no tectonic plates, etc., within the vicinity. And my philosophy, or excuse me, my reasoning after watching the trailer was, I think that the government, after the, you know, he mentions the 80s Ghostbuster stuff, that they took the containment unit and all that and they buried it underground like they would for nuclear waste, and so that place has ended up becoming a dead zone for or
The
ground
paranormal.
zero for the paranormal.
Mm.
I think that's what's going to go down. What do you
Well,
think
at the beginning of the trailer, they show a well and green glow coming out of the well.
yeah, that part kind of and then the fact that the dogs from the first film, the gargoyle-ish dog, like was shown and stuff, it
Oh yeah.
makes me think that everything that was ever contained is probably going to bust out. And the, you know, they seeing that well, it's like, okay, they probably dumped it like they do with our toxic waste and nuclear
Mm.
waste. And that's an interesting sort of, you know, start of a storyline there, than to bring, you know, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Winston, and everybody back. I'm excited for it, and I wanted to share that excitement with the developer, and I didn't get to do it, but I guess I got to with Daku.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not honestly, I'm not a huge movie watcher, which I know I sound insane for, but I don't know. I just
His
I mean, I
eyes are
watch
on the
movies,
prize.
but I'm not super up to date with everything going on.
Yeah, I guess
I'll watch a movie 5 years after it comes out.
fair enough. I guess with Daku and I being in the 30 plus category, Ghostbusters probably meant a lot to our childhood. So something like that is
Hmm.
kind of a historic thing to, or like a thing of high,
Definitely.
you know, like seeing trailer drop Monday. That's just, something that as soon as I woke up, first thing I checked. So back to the game.
Yeah, I was curious. Have you thought about a tournament mode of sorts to add to the possible community aspect?
I have. I was thinking about actually hosting a tournament on a website called Challenge,
Oh,
something like
sure,
that. I don't know
sure.
how to pronounce it, but
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we know about that. Yep.
yeah. So I was gonna host a tournament on that on there, which I probably will end up doing at a later point. I just kind of wanted early access to actually kind of come out and give myself a few days grace to you know allow the game to be let people play it a little bit, practice up. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in doing tournaments and stuff like that.
I'm more interested than ever since I whooped you.
Wow.
No, I'm
Gracious
feeding
host, huh?
I'm feeding into the audience that knows me that that would hopefully be checking this out because of that versus mode, and I shouldn't, in my opinion, I'm very noob at this, so anybody that has time that really wants to grind at versus mode and learn all the nuances that I'm sure Reece has down. It's just Reece, right? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
I was about
Yeah,
to
you're
say,
pronouncing it right.
if your first
Yeah.
name was like the last name and was something else, then I would have been embarrassed this entire time. So thank you. For that.
No, you're okay.
It's Reece Geofroy.
What
It's
is
like
well, not Joffrey. Remember? Say it again.
Geofroy.
Joe
But
Flan.
I go by
Alright.
Jeffrey Geofroy. I've
The
heard it all.
Geofront.
well, my first name is actually Jeffrey, so that's like the pronunciation with the G. Most people, at least in the states,
Yeah.
we say Joffrey.
Okay, yeah, definitely heard that one too. I think I've probably heard every pronunciation except for the actual one. I never get that one.
Yeah.
Never get that one.
It's a tough one, and everyone is lying. His first name is actually Ricky. The C is like a. Okay, so all right. So here's your quick hard line of questions. All right. So, what do you value? Or excuse me, I should rephrase that. Let's rewind. What would you value as success in regard to early access and being in? We had spoken earlier about early access, giving the game some time to grow and breathe. In regards to, like, let's say concurrent users versus sales, because you said you're not interested in the funding or the money. So
Yep.
for you, as a level of success, for me, just releasing something, that is all the world to me. So I think you've already reached that glowing success level that I am alluding to. But how many users would you like to envision playing the game initially for you to feel like that this has been like more than a success for you? It could be for me, it could be 100, it could be 500, 1,000, whatever number seems to be in your realm, and
Yep.
what makes you think that you surpassed your initial odds.
So honestly, I actually just talked to some friends about this before I came on the stream. But to me, already I feel like the game is a success because I didn't
There you go.
intend for this game to be something that's like you know, $1 million idea or anything like that. I just wanted to create it because I wanted something fun to play with friends and you know, make this YouTube series. So for me, having these 20, 30 people from my YouTube that are interested in the game and excited to play it and all that, that's enough for me. Anyone that else that plays the game, that's just extra, and like it's wonderful. And I don't take any of that for granted. But in my eyes, the game's already a success because I've already gotten so many opportunities of meeting with people like yourselves, and you know,
Aw.
just being a better game developer. So it's already a success to me. Everything after this is just extra.
That's a perfect answer, dude.
That's a humble answer, and that's the best kind
Yeah.
you could ask for.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you guys.
That's-
Thank you.
that's pretty much what I was hoping the answer would be. That's awesome. And what I need to know, because I haven't gotten there yet, is unlock special costumes for each hero. What?
Uh,
Do tell.
If you see in the select menu, if you press the bumper on any of the characters, you'll be able to select their costume. All are locked originally, but as it is right now, if you make it to wave 15 on any stage, then you'll unlock their costume. So, for example, if you're playing with Soldier and Wizard, and you make it to wave 16 in Windy Valley, you'll now have Soldier and Wizard costumes unlocked. So, it's gonna change when full release comes out with the inclusion of bosses and stuff like that.
Oh,
So instead, it will be defeating the boss will unlock you the costume, because the bosses are actually just the playable characters. Each character has their own stage. So there's definitely a lot of things that will change with full release. But as it is right now, I think the game's still really fun, and even for me, making it to wave 15 and doing stuff like that, it was a challenge, and I wanted to kind of do everything, like play the game as a player, not as a game developer. So I mainly play the game with my brother, and we have a lot of fun playing it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how you unlock them right now, is just by making it to wave 15 on
So-
any of the maps.
so it's kind of like that trophy for reaching that wave. It's like people
Exactly,
that
yeah.
you play with, they'll be like, "Ah, you jerk! You got past the wave I couldn't get past."
Yeah,
Can I seek
pretty much.
Can I seek you out for collaboration in this effort that I get past wave 15, knowing that you have the skill set that
Yeah.
I can imagine us here in the AE community playing this.
It'll cost you all your gold coins.
There you go.
Yeah, so costumes are are definitely a thing currently. So you just got to be a little bit more skilled to unlock them, but when the game fully launches, it'll be a little bit easier, because wave 10 is boss wave. So technically you only have to pass wave 10. But yeah, it's just a nice little challenge. Something to show your mastery, I guess.
Yeah, I dig that. And then in the future, do you have any? I guess any. I want to word this right so it doesn't seem like I'm putting too much pressure on the versus mode. But let's say you've won like 100 games. Do you have any, like future plans of perhaps implementing like a, epic gold I dominate at versus mode skin for each character or anything of that nature?
So I'm gonna do something similar to, I believe Smash Brothers does this, but basically there's a way to unlock the characters and costumes like that and things like that in arcade mode, but you can also, if by playing a certain amount of versus mode matches, you can unlock them that way as well. So that will be added again later on down the road, but right now it's just arcade mode is how you unlock things, but versus mode will kind of do that as well. So not different content, but just a different, like an alternative way of unlocking the content.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I dig that. So, being a sole developer of Boundless Studios, you're currently working on content for your previous title while also working on Christmas content for Shield Shock. Now, is there a when do you say okay? I love the idea of continuously getting updates rolled out, fixing things, adding things. Is there going to be a point when you say like, okay, I think it's time to focus 100% effort on Shield Shock and then whatever may come after, or are you kind of in the mentality that all of your children, you're going to do your best to keep them all kind of up and running and updated?
Yeah. So with diminutive, I mean, I don't want to be unprofessional here, but I'm really not the biggest fan of it. I mean, I think that the game, honestly, like the game itself, the gameplay is pretty fun, and it's the same kind of feel with like having an invasion mode and a versus mode. It's a fun thing to play with, family and friends and stuff like that. But game, I feel like everything is kind of being held together by band-aids, and it's just waiting to rip and explode.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
So, so
That's honesty.
it's a little bit crazy working on the game. So after this update comes out, probably I will not be working on diminutive anymore. I'm just gonna put the game down to about $1 for purchase, because again, I'm not doing this for the money currently. I'm just doing it for the experience, and just trying to be a better game developer. So the game will be really cheap. It'll just be kind of out there. You can play it, you can buy it, but there probably won't be any updates, at least anytime soon. So I will be putting a lot more attention into Shield Shock and just future games. I want to take a break and kind of work on smaller projects, something that'll take me like a month, and then kind of second half 2020 start working on my big project, which I'm very excited about, and I think is probably the most successful idea that I've had to date. But I just want to work on small things for now and kind of recoup from the past like 6 months of working on Shield Shock.
Oh, I imagine that's draining, and the marketing and press circuit's going to be draining as well. I'm sure this interview in its own way is draining. It's got to be fun and draining at the same time. But
definitely.
So okay, I here's like the last 5-minute question round here thing. So you as a person, that got you into development, what are your top 3 favorite games, and why?
Okay, top 3 favorite games. I have to say my number 1 would have to go to League of Legends, because that's the game that I play by far the most.
You and Daku will get off well.
Support player for life. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of an addiction. Not really anymore. I just play it occasionally now. Every couple of months I'll jump back in and play a few games. But that definitely ruined my high school experience. A lot of hours on that game. So because of that, I don't really tend to like play through and finish a ton of games. I'm kind of a person to get into a game, play it for a little while, and then move on to something else. I think League is kind of the only game that I've stuck to, and I've been playing it for like 8 years. But I would have to say, honestly, like I'm into indie games, which is, I think, a good thing. So some games that I've been playing recently have been Dead Cells. I've been really into Dead Cells. I'm a huge fan of roguelikes and roguelites and all that stuff. And Enter the Gungeon's also a good one. But I guess my favorite AAA title, Brothers. So
which one was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Smash.
That makes a lot of sense based off this game.
Yeah, definitely into fighting games, indie games. So this game wasn't really a shocker for me. I've always been into this stuff. So.
Okay, so here comes a, rapid question round. Question number 2. you're sharing a same 24-hour space with another. I suppose. It's still an indie game, although it's just a very. It's seen a lot of success with the new Shovel Knight. Did you?
Oh, is that releasing today?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Shovel of Hope.
I did not even know that. I did not know that actually. I thought that game released like December 11th or something like that. Yeah, I mean that's probably pretty tough.
Well, they're different games, so it's not like you have to worry about anything like that. It was just a indie developer question, I guess, or to from my understanding of previous interviews I've done with indie devs, is they don't really look at, from my experience, from what they said. I'm not saying you, okay. Look at the release schedule of other titles because it's not what matters to them. Is that a fair assumption, or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am not the best marketing person out there. I feel like I could have done a little bit more research and, figured out the competition and when is the best time to release things and stuff like that. The initial release date was supposed to be a little bit earlier, but I wanted to release for my birthday, which was yesterday. But unfortunately, you can't release a game on the weekend, so they just put the release to the day after. So today,
Yeah.
so not too much thinking went into the release date, I guess.
So I must have missed that at the start of the interview. If you're talking about your birthday, so happy birthday. So you said,
thank you.
So you just turned, was it 19?
19.
Okay, wow. So 18 years old throughout the development of both titles, or just Shield Shock?
I believe I was 17 when I started Diminutive, but yeah, 18 for the majority of my game development career.
So
that's impressive.
It is. So by by 25, we'll see like the full maturation of your work. We'll start to
Yes. I'm that's kind of my side little goal there is 2025 I want to be fully independent, making games for my full-time job. So just a little goal I have for myself. But
just so you know, despite the fact that I received a free copy, I purchased the title as well. That's something that I always do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's something that I
it means a lot.
No problem. It's something from a YouTuber that I got to play Splitgate with prior to the interview we did with the developers there, Carrick of ACG. And one thing he told me was how he always will purchase a game no matter how many free keys he gets. So I was like, okay, I get too many free keys to do that, but any game that I play with the free key, I'll purchase. Because I redeem a bunch, but I don't really have interest in. Yours caught my eye right away, so I had to play it. And as soon as I played it, I had the pre-order up, but I waited for this morning, and yeah, so you got my 5 right there. And
thank you so much.
No problem. So I was gonna ask you a few more, but since we're running a bit over, we got some nice gameplay in, we got some personal questions, some jokes. Can you kind of like just give us a lead out on what not only the fans, but those that maybe in your outside of your community that could be coming in, checking out your YouTube videos, checking out the game, awaiting updates, and if this is like at the end of kind of giving that run out, and if if all goes well and after that Christmas update is released, if you'd like to come back on and talk about it, I'll let you take off with that.
I mean, if people are watching, I've been doing YouTube for probably about 8 to 10 months. You can find my content over it's just my name. It's Reece Geofroy. I don't know if
Good luck.
people know how to spell
Good
that.
luck with the
but,
Geofroy, everybody. I'll give you. There,
I'm sure I'm sure you
it
can
in.
just type in Shield Shock on YouTube. I have quite a few videos on there, so you can probably just type in Shield Shock on YouTube. That's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a bright future. I want to continue on working on Shield Shock for the next few months, and if things go really well, I'd love to launch on console, and keep updating the game. I like the idea of how kind of like Brawlhalla and games like that, they release updates around the holidays and stuff like that. So, Valentine's Day and Halloween, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So, it's definitely a passion project for me. So I do want to continue working on it, at least for a little while. So yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to you guys again, with upcoming things. I have Christmas coming up, and then also the full launch of the game coming up. So it's consistent Shield Shock content, I guess, for a little while. So
excellent. So how about after the official launch, after early access is over, we'll meet up for another interview and another versus matchup. Although this time we'll have Angles and Daku, so we'll have a full four. And
Oh yes, I must take down Win. It is a requirement. I'm sorry, what?
all I have to say for him is Win is. I'm not trying to brag here, but I made it to wave 20. So
Ooh.
maybe I'm not the best versus mode. But I definitely have my arcade mode down packed.
Now,
so
if I grind arcade mode and I make a video that shows me surpassing, is it infinite, the amount of waves?
Infinite, yeah.
All right, so let's say I hit infinity. Is that going to be a problem between us? Is that going to hurt our relationship?
I don't know if it'll be possible. I think the enemies will eventually outscale you.
That's to be
But
determined,
if you make it to infinity, you'll be a very good friend of mine.
Okay. So by infinity, what I mean about wave 40. That's going to be the goal. I don't think I'll meet it.
That might be pretty difficult.
But I will make a point of trying to grind it. We'll get like a week's worth of Shield Shock content streamed out in 9-hour blocks of me trying to do this. And that's good for that's good for marketing, and it's good for my mental health.
He'll do it. Trust me, he will.
Yeah, I will. The second part was sarcasm about the mental health.
We won't see him for a while.
This feels like a phone call. It's like,
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. And if I hit 21, then I'll just send you a screenshot and hope that you print it out, sign it, and shoot it back for me for when you hit it big as a developer. You'll have signed.
Yeah, definitely, man.
You'll have signed my conquest over your best, and it'll be hung up in the back there near the wall of games. And if you end up getting in all seriousness, so like I'm sure we could print out a poster or something, but if you have any sort of method of getting a retail box designed just to ship out. Currently I have the drum kit kind of blocking the camera, but my backdrop is just stacks of boxed games of going back from 96, 90, or 95 onward. It's pretty nutty looking, and I'd be honored to have it Shield Shock on that wall. So if I could even show you a place if that's something you have interest in, because I would love to have it in my backdrop.
Yeah, definitely. Like we could, talk off stream and see what we could work out. I appreciate that though. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like I'm having a legitimate blast with it, and the fact that in a stream that it's gonna get the VOD's gonna get some nice views. We had a beautiful amount of turnout on Caffeine, which I really appreciate everybody that showed up, asked questions, and that's still here right now. Beautiful. You got amazing community, and it's it means a lot to me that I got to win every single multiplayer versus game.
He's gonna harp on that.
Yeah, no, I'm just okay. No,
Little
and
flex.
also, no,
Just little flex.
I'm very hopeful that once the transcript is sent out, that we get some nice coverage for the game for you, and that those in our community will use the affiliate link we have posted up and use their wallet and.
Oh, you'll
help
get
support
$5
you.
from me this Friday.
There you go.
Once I get my pay.
Paycheck. Paycheck comes first.
FedEx is helping pay for this. Not sponsored FedEx.
Yeah, definitely not. FedEx is not one of our partners. Although, hey, if you can work something out, Docker, maybe we can get faster shipping on stuff.
That's true. That's true.
2-day shipping. Come on now.
There, really quickly, I'll send you the copy image address. I'll shoot this over to you on Steam, and I think you'll be able to see a position that is open on that wall.
There's a very big wall.
Yeah, and there's a few openings to the left, so I want to see that.
He's got a keyboard to the left of him. I don't know if he's told you, but he does music too.
Wow.
I did not, because this is more about, it's supposed to be about him, not about me. I'm just trying to get him on my wall. I'll brief him on all that stuff off stream. You know what I mean. But all right. So Daku, do you have any final questions before we tuck in?
No. I just, from opinion of seeing what I've seen so far, it looks like a game that has a lot of promise in the sense of it's going to be a competitive thing that a lot of people are going to lose drinking bets to. In a good way.
We all know Daku has far too many drinking bets. He has a problem.
I do, but that's beside the point. We didn't need to bring that up on stream.
I don't even know if he does. Anyway, I guess he just said, okay, fair enough. Is Angles still present, or is he?
He's here, but he's muted.
Well, that suits him. I see we have a Boundless Studios on caffeine now. Let's follow it back, everybody. That's on caffeine. I'm gonna type at Boundless Studios in case you are interested in getting a follow over to Reece here. Hold on.
Let's just get him to 100 before the cutoff date. He'll become a caster in no time.
So there you go. It's at Boundless Studios. If you type in the chat, people can just click your name and then follow if you'd like that. Immediately after the stream, I will get you a link to the VOD, and by tomorrow I'll have the transcript for you with all the key points.
Awesome, man.
It doesn't have some of the wackiness in there, but the wackiness is what makes it fun. So
Yeah, definitely.
All right, it's been a real pleasure. You seem like such a down to earth, awesome, just a committed person that I'm glad that people like you take the time to put all that effort in and present a product that is enjoyable, and it's like I said, it's your child, and you're going to keep molding it to get rid of the bugs that you've discovered that I haven't.
Yeah.
And I guess as a final note that I should have asked this earlier, but I guess in the transcript we'll put it earlier. Do you think there's any chance in the future for custom binds for keyboard?
Custom what? Sorry.
Custom bind, so you can change the
like key binding
scheme.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's something that a lot of people have an issue for, definitely, I'll address it and work something out.
I think the WASD spacebar I think just coming from a, I mean, as a first-person shooter player, but also, even in MOBA, you're worried about MOBA and RTS, you're worried about QWER, TY, etc.
Yep.
I think that placement would be pretty epic. Then like shift control for, shield / attack, and then your ability.
I agree.
That might be pretty nice. So
Yeah, that's very relaxing for most players. Is that type of setup?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely at least do an alternate control scheme.
yeah,
Fully customizable controls, maybe, but at least 2 or 3 different layouts of playing the game for sure.
yeah. I think a WASD one would be dynamite. Okay, my reason, aside from it being super comfortable, I have my microphone placed on the on like 1/4 of my keyboard over the numpad going into the keys, the up arrows, and then I use
Me
the.
too.
Oh, okay, there you go. And then I use the. Nice, dude. I use the Razer Tartarus version 2 as a gaming keypad for actual gameplay, so I just kind of type with the keyboard. So like I'm just picturing myself playing it on the gaming keypad like that, just jump, jump, and yeah. But aside from that, everything is dynamite, dude, and you keep doing you. Let me know of any updates. I will announce them within the Accelerated Evolution Partner Discord, and I will make announcements on stream. I appreciate you. Appreciate your work, and thank you for coming on Accelerated Evolution and talking about your game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I appreciate this opportunity as well. So thank you guys for taking time out of your day to do this little live interview, but also to the people watching, thank you for taking the time to actually watch my game. It's it's amazing to have people actually interested in something that I created. So I do appreciate everyone just here right now, on call, off call. So yeah, just thank you to everybody. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for sharing your passion with us. That's what really matters.
Yeah, and
No problem.
It was beautiful seeing the questions coming in and same kind of passion. People that are just really curious about what you do and how you think and why you do it, etc. It's great, man. So
yeah, and I'd love to do another interview.
All right. So you have a killer December month of working on your Christmas update and getting ready for launch, all right? And that's like my stream way of saying, good luck, I'll talk to you, but I'll be talking to you literally within a few minutes, sending you the VOD, okay?
Yeah, man.
All right, everybody.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. This has been an AE production on Caffeine TV with Boundless Studios founder and creator Reece. You can say your own last name.
What?
There you go. Dakumauler and Angles. This has been Kenneth Wynn Spaziani. And thank you for tuning in. We'll exit out on like a splash screen. Give me a second. Aha. All right. So in the UI, you'll see Boundless Studios. That's their logo, and then Shield Shock. That's the game title. And also, for those of you that are still hanging out here, thank you so much. And for those that interacted, once again, thank you. You have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace. And 3, 2, 1.